Let's go sew a competition dance costume for a jazz duet that is a space or robotic type of vibe. I ordered my fabrics from Blue Moon Fabrics and the dance teacher recommended pink and silver. I got this foiled mesh, which is gorgeous. So I definitely want to use this. I also bought this really awesome structured vinyl from Amazon. I'm going to do this pattern, but make the top a little longer and the bottom's a little higher. This pattern is 29 pages, so I printed all of those. And I print different sizes on different colors so that I don't mix up my pattern pieces. I made a test run of the pattern and this is what it looked like. For the real costume, I want thicker binding and then I want to add a silver waistband above this point and a silver band below the bra. So instead of cutting it longer, I'm just adding bands. Here are most of my pieces. I sewed the sides of my top together and then I did the band. Honestly, this pattern is so simple. So when I sewed the band on, I ended up just leaving a little hole so that I could slip my elastic in there. And then I put that through, sewed my elastic into a circle, and then closed that hole up. And then I top stitched with a zigzag stitch just so that it would lay perfectly. Now these are my tops. And then the way that this pattern has you do straps is so different than what I'm used to, but it's actually really easy. And I did cut my straps thicker than what the pattern shows, because I wanted the silver to be such a statement. And also I hate doing thin binding, even though I do it all the time. So after I sewed it on the one side, all I had to do was just fold this over and flip it to the back side. I used so many clips, but I wanted everything to stay perfect. And then I just sewed over that and I did use a zigzag stitch. And then I don't show making the bottoms, but I made them the same way with the added band. Okay, and since this is for a duet, I thought it would be cool to have them be opposite. So I cut one face down and one face up. Then I sewed the mesh leotard up. And then I put the bottoms in and pinned that together. And I stitched them together real quick just to hold them in place. And then put leg bands on. Okay, this is what I have so far. Now I want to add the cool vinyl structured skirt. I don't have a pattern for a skirt, but I'm gonna kind of just look off of the brief pattern. And I drew about the shape that I wanted. And then I cut that out. Now this is what they look like, and the vinyl is kind of stiff, but it's a little flimsy, and I want to add binding around the edges so that I can slip boning in. By the way, this is what it looks like without the skirt. I cut the binding 2 inches wide. My boning is 1/4 inch. I folded my binding like bias tape and ironed it so that it would lay nice and flat. So I just sandwiched the bias tape around my skirt and clipped that on. And then sewed around. I used a long straight stitch since it doesn't need to stretch at all. Look how much boning I got for $10. I might have to start making corsets. And then I just slipped my boning in. And then I repeated that process for the sides. I just tucked the edges under so it wasn't raw there. Okay, now I need to make the waistband. I used 3/4 inch elastic and my girls have 20-inch waists, so I cut the elastic to 19 inches. Originally, I sewed it like this and it didn't work, so I ripped this all out. My brain cannot figure out how to put a waistband on this, so I'm gonna come back to this in the morning. I cut the waistbands 3 inches by 20 inches, and then I ironed them like bias tape also. I sewed the ends together, so now it's one big circle. And then I sandwiched my skirt in there and clipped that on. I did stretch a little as I clipped. And then I used a stretch stitch and sewed all the way around, leaving a little hole so that I could slip my elastic in. I'm not done the skirt, but tell me it's not a big visor. Now that's all I'm gonna see when she's wearing it. Then I just fed my elastic through, sewed it into the circle, and it's done. We did a quick little try on. Okay, I'm completely done. Let's take a detailed look. So I did use a pattern for everything besides the skirt, but I want to show the changes that I did make. This silver around the mesh is thicker. And then also I added little sleeve cuffs. I actually made the neckband thinner. And then I added the silver on the bottom of the bra and the top of the shorts. And this is what the pattern looks like without those modifications. I did love this pattern as a base, but I just wanted some things to be a little bit different. Comment below what you think. I'll be making another competition dance costume next week.